Hi there, my name is John DeKoven with Your Digital Handyman. I'd like to welcome you to my premiere edition of Android App Spotlight. I hope to bring you 3 to 5 different Android apps per week with a video demo on exactly how they work. For my first app, I wanted to give you a really great one. It's called Agent. What Agent will do is automate your phone to do various tasks, and this is very simple to set up. A few years ago, you really had to be a programmer to do it, but it's very easy. So this is available in the Google Play Store. I just want to show you really quick here how you're going to search for it. So you would search under Agent, of course, and it is actually called Agent, Do Not Disturb, and More. So you're going to go ahead and go through the motions there to install it. I already have it installed here, and we're going to click on the icon. And right now they have 5 different agents, and I'm sure they'll probably be adding more. But the first one is called Battery. What this will do is once your phone gets into a low battery state, it will turn off certain functions so that your battery lasts longer. The second agent is called Sleep. What this one will do is based on a schedule you determine when the phone is determined you're sleeping, it will turn all your ringers and all your sounds off, except that you will be able to give it an exception list. So for instance, if your mom's calling or your wife or whoever you choose, if they call, the phone will ring. Great and valuable agent to have. The next agent is called Parking. This is pretty simple. The phone will figure out that you've been driving and when you've stopped, and it will mark where your car is parked. The next agent is called Meeting. This is another great agent. What this will do is it will check your calendar, and if it shows you're in a meeting or busy, it turns your ringer off so you're not getting disturbed by the phone call. You're not one of those people who is embarrassed that their phone went off. And again, this will allow you, if you want to have certain people to be able to ring through to the meeting. And the last agent is called Drive. This is another cool agent. What this one will do is if you're driving, it will read your text to you and then also allow you to respond by voice, and it works very well. So let's take a look at each agent individually. Okay, the first agent we're going to look at is Battery. Let's take a look at the info, and it tells us it conserves your battery when you need it most, and it starts when your battery runs low. How it works is it will switch off non-critical functions when your battery gets below a level that you set. It will pause auto sync, it will dim your screen, and it will turn your Bluetooth on and off. And as you will see, we can customize those options. So let's go into the configure menu. And the first thing it asks you here is set your trigger percent. So what percentage of the battery do you want it to reach before this agent turns on? I have it at 10%. You can use the slider to set the percentage up and down. Some people may go to 20. I'd say between 10 and 20 is a good range. So we'll take a look at the settings. This first setting says to disable when charging. So what this means is if I have this checked, that the agent will never turn on if I'm charging the phone. Because when you think about it, if I'm charging my phone, I don't really care about saving the battery. It's charging up. So if my phone is at 8% and I charge it, I don't really need the battery saving functions. The next option is don't start if the screen is on. The reason you might want to do this is, let's say you're on the phone, your screen is on, but your battery percentage gets low. If it turns your Bluetooth off, you may not want that to happen either. So down here is where it gives you your options of what you want to turn on and off with your agent. You can disable your auto sync, you can turn off your Bluetooth, And one thing I should mention, when I say turn off your Bluetooth, I don't mean the Bluetooth device. It's just the Bluetooth signal on your phone. Because if you have that on, and even if it's connected to a headset or not, it drains your battery. Next would be turning off your Wi-Fi. And then the next thing would be turning off your mobile data. After that, your option for dimming the screen, if you want that done, is what brightness level do you want to dim to if this agent turns on. And again, you can go anywhere from 0 to 100%. Usually you want to keep it in the 10 to 20% range. One other thing I should mention here is if you go to Info, you can manually start this agent no matter what the percentage is at. And that's your battery agent. Okay, the next agent we're going to look at is the sleep agent. And if we look under Info, it tells us it will silence your phone when you sleep, but allow selected people through, and it starts when you next go to sleep. And how it works is it will take a time that you've designated combined with minutes of inactivity to know when you're sleeping. It will use an alarm sound to wake you when you've received an urgent message. And the sleep agent can also text the caller to verify if it's urgent before it wakes you up. So this will make more sense under the configuration menu. First thing is we're going to configure, approximately when do we sleep during the night. This came pre-configured with these times. I've just left this for now. You can click to edit here and then go through each day and edit the time as you see fit. Then the next thing is you're going to determine who can wake you up. So what you're going to do is pick from your phone book, and this is on your phone, and you will check who are the people, if they call, that your phone will ring. Okay, if you don't select anybody, no one will come through. So let's get back to the menu here. Then after you pick who can call through, you're going to say, will a phone call wake you? Will a text wake you? Or both? And then again, only in the people who are in your Can Wake Me list will be able to wake you up. If we go into more settings, this is wait for an activity is in addition to the times that you specified for sleeping. So right now, my schedule says on Mondays, I'm sleeping between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. So once 11 a.m. hits, this sleep agent is going to start. However, if I check wait for inactivity and I have 10 minutes, even if it's during those times, until my phone is not active for 10 minutes, it will not start in the sleep mode. And this is for obvious reasons. Maybe I'm up later, maybe I'm using the phone later. So until the phone is inactive for 10 minutes, it will not go into the sleep mode. The other option you can do is to start only if it's plugged in during that time. So that's kind of a good way, because I always plug my phone in at night by my bedside. So if I have that, even if it's between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m., it will only start once my phone's plugged in. Okay, so this next section, send text to verify urgency. The way this works is my brother is in my wake me up list. But if I have this checked, then he will get a text message which says, I'm sleeping. If you text urgent, my phone will ring loudly and wake me up. So even though he's called, I don't get woken up, but then if he sends back a text saying urgent, I will be woken up. So that's just a little bit of protection. This next section, allow repeat calls through. If you have this checked, if someone calls you twice within 5 minutes, their call will go through even if they are not in your Who Can Wake Me list. Your next option here is you can silence your phone. You could also have your notifications be complete silence or vibrate. The last section here is battery management. Disable your auto sync. turn off Bluetooth, turn off Wi-Fi, turn off mobile data. Like I said, when I go to sleep, my phone's plugged in, so I don't really care about having any of those checked. So that's the sleep agent. Hopefully that'll prevent you from getting woken up needlessly during the middle of the night. All right, our next agent is the parking agent. This will tell you where you've parked your car. So under info, it tells us that it remembers where you parked automatically, and it's waiting for the next time your car stops. And how it works is it'll, once you reach a certain speed, it uses motion detection to determine when you've parked your car. So it can kind of figure if your phone's moving at a certain miles per hour and then it stops and it's been like that for more than a minute or so, it assumes you probably parked your car there. It can also do it by storing your location when you disconnect from your Bluetooth device. This is usually how I do it because I have a Bluetooth in my car, so if it's connected to that, once it disconnects, that's pretty much where I park my car, and a pin will automatically be placed on a map to show you where you've parked. So if we go to the configuration menu, it's pretty basic. It's going to say, do you want to use motion detection or do you want to use a Bluetooth connection? If I'm going to use a Bluetooth connection, it'll allow it, and it's turning my Bluetooth on, and this is the Bluetooth in my car that is always on. So if I disconnect from it, that's going to mean my car is parked. Here it says, should drive agent use this Bluetooth? I'm going to continue. And then it tells me parking agent will only use Bluetooth. It cannot use Bluetooth and motion detection at the same time. If I look here really quick at the parking map, this is showing me where I've parked my car last. I can open this up in Google Maps, and I can also record the parking spot manually. So that is the parking agent. Okay, let's check out the meeting agent. So the meeting agent tells us that it will silence your phone so you're not disturbed during meetings. Meeting agent is waiting for your next meeting to begin. So how it works is it uses your calendar to determine when you're busy. So let's see how we configure this. So the first thing it's going to do is ask us to choose the calendars that we want meeting agent to monitor. You may have more calendars than this, so let's just say it's my main calendar for my Gmail account. Now under more settings is where we're going to get more specific. So this is asking me, meeting agent will only start for meetings during the following hours. All day events are ignored. So again, you set your times. If you only want to have do not disturb for things between 8 and 6, that's fine. 8 and 5, whatever time you want to put. You can also say, I only want this agent to work for busy events. So a lot of calendars will have, you can put a calendar item in, but you could say I'm free or tentative or busy. So this way, if you put busy events, it may be, okay, this is a meeting, I really don't want to be disturbed. But another event could be maybe you're having a picnic at a park, and of course you don't care if your phone rings. The next thing you're going to check is which days do you want it to monitor the events. Do you want it every day, just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever events you want. How do you want to receive notifications on your phone? They could either be completely silent or vibrate, so you choose. Now again here, like sleep, you can determine that some calls can get through and some texts can get through, or both. And then if you choose one of them, you're going to get who can get through, and you can pick from your phone book whose texts and or calls you want to make sure that get through even though you're in a meeting. Again, like the sleep mode, we can have a send text to verify urgency and a verification text message that will allow them to verify the urgency and get through to you even if you're in a meeting. We have the same option, allow repeat calls to get through. So if you check that, this will allow anyone that calls twice within 5 minutes to get through, even if they are not on your list. So it's pretty much exactly like the sleep agent, except for meetings. And if you set this on your phone, you will never be embarrassed by a phone call in a meeting again. Okay, our last agent is called Drive, and this is a pretty cool one. If we look at the info here, it says it will read out messages and respond to messages and calls, and it starts when you next drive. How it works, it uses your Bluetooth to detect when you're driving, and uses SMS to reply to those trying to contact you to let them know that you're driving. If we go into our configuration menu, we can either establish that we're driving with our Bluetooth connection or our motion detection. And like in the parking app, it can use one or the other. So when I'm connected to this Bluetooth, this agent is going to know I'm driving. If we go into more settings, it's going to ask us, do we want to silence our phone while we're driving, or do we want to have it on vibrate? Also, do we want our text messages read aloud? Do we want to talk to respond? Do we want to always use the phone speaker? Next, it says who do we want to respond to? So we could limit this. Right now, this is set to all my contacts in my phones, and it will auto respond to phone calls. For some reason, this isn't scrolling up. And it will auto respond to text messages. So again, you can specify if you get a phone call, do you want a text message sent? Obviously, every phone call you get, you don't know if it's going to be a mobile phone. When you get a text message, you know it's a mobile phone. So here you can set your auto response. I am driving right now. I will get back to you soon. Auto reply from agent app. Okay, I'm going to try to do a little demo here on how the texting works. So I'm not driving obviously, but I can do a manual start, which will put it in the driving mode. And you may or may not see some of the screens on this demo. So I'm going to send a text to this phone from another phone.
Incoming SMS from John DeCoven. How you like the agent app? To reply, say send text.
Send text.
What would you like to say?
I really like it a lot.
I think you said, I really like it a lot. Is this correct?
Yes.
Great. Sending your message for you.
And that's how it works. If I were to look in my SMS app, those messages would be there. And that is the driving agent. Check it out. So that's it. Those are all 5 agents in the app agent. Hope you've enjoyed this video demo. And please feel free to share this with anyone you think might find it useful. Also, if there's an Android app that you'd like to see as a demo, send us the name at info@yourdigitalhandyman.com. Thank you.